the second definition here, which is the definition offered by Imam Raghib al-Asfahani in his Mufradat al-Fadl al-Quran, that he mentions two basic definitions of Sharia. The first is that it is any human service or function that serves the interests of humanity and the advancement of society. وكل ما سخر الله به الإنسان من طريق يتحراه مما يعود إلى صالح العباد وعمارة البلاد. That's his definition of Sharia. Any human service or function that serves the interests of humanity and advancement of society. That is one understanding of Sharia. And then the other thing he mentions is that Sharia is those social mores that God or Allah has ordered man, in its course's generic sense, to voluntarily pursue, which vary from one law code to another and are subject to abrogation. And so this is important to highlight the concept of abrogation, or what in the Christian tradition, the Christian scholastic tradition, they call loosing and binding. And that is to say, this idea that the rabbis, the new rabbis or the new prophets or messengers sent by God, or the new apostles that were sent by God, each of them had been given a certain authority to alter the law or the previous law. That certain things that were disallowed can be allowed, and some things which are allowed could be prohibited. They can be forbade. And so this is well established because, for instance, if we just think about or reflect upon our traditions of how we got here, our theological anthropology, if we want to call it that, our anthropology, how did we all get here? And I don't mean, children from parents. I mean the human race. How did we get here? That, we believe, if we believe, that we all originated from one man and one woman. Right? All right. Then where did the rest of us come from? Right? So if we say they had children, right? Okay. Those people had children. And, okay. All right. Where everybody else comes from. How did we get here? Okay, man and the woman, you get the point, right? So, children, brother and sister, cohabit with one another. Right? Huh? But not at what? Of the same mother. Eve was the mother of all of them. It's the same mother. Yeah, of course, as it spread over time, but in this early period, how else are you going to populate the planet? That this child, these two children, have the same mother and same father. And they cohabit with one another. Because you can't believe that we come from one man and one woman if you believe that they didn't sleep together. It's not possible. Because you have to, it goes to reason. There's the only explanation that's possible to say that if everyone on this planet, everyone on the earth originated from one man and one woman, the only way we could have gotten here was that brother and sister cohabited with one another. Now today we call that what? Incest, right? But back then, it was just the way things were. That was the Sharia, right? That was the Sharia. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the authority to allow or disallow what He wants to. Right? The Persians had laws that allowed for them to marry their mothers. That the Jews, they had laws that allowed for them to marry their nieces. Right? And then but this was fundamentally the nature of Sharia. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He was the one who determined that this is now time for this to change. Right? And it was for this to stay the same. That He is the one who determines that. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we speak about, for instance, the issue of sodomy or homosexual sexual intercourse, that I think it's bad for Muslims to think about and say, well, the reason why it's wrong, and we think of some rational argument. That because when you get into all the rational arguments, to justifications of it, then you run into a lot of trouble. Because other people have brains too, and they can bring out contradictions in your argument. But fundamentally, it's wrong. Why? Because God says it's wrong. That why you don't drink wine? Because Allah said don't drink.